the August 16th, 2022 Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:45. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of claims.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion for the consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $1,239,149.49. A lawn credit card in the amount of $4,791.75. And payroll and liabilities for July 29th, 22 in the amount of $377,569.84 for the total of $1,621,511.08.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Salisbury, second by Councilman Pronto. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All opposed say nay. All motion passes. Is there anything additional that we need to discuss tonight?
No, Madam Chair.
All right, with that, we adjourn at 6:46.
Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. Councilman Larson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will give the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the many blessings that are ours this day. We're grateful for our elder brother, Jesus Christ. We're grateful for the opportunity to live in this wonderful country that we have, and for the opportunity to vote and to participate in the process. We're thankful for our first responders, our police and our firemen, our ambulances. We're grateful for their willingness to serve us and ask for thy guidance and thy safety to watch over them. We're grateful for our servicemen and for the way they put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms. We're grateful, and we ask thee to watch over them, that they'll be kept from harm or safety. We're grateful for the opportunity to be here this evening and to discuss the subjects of the city of Riverton, and ask for thy spirit to guide our thoughts and that we might come to good conclusions. We ask for these many favors and blessings, and we do it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would the city clerk please conduct roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilwoman Lindsay Cox.
Here.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Dean Peranto.
Here.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilwoman Christy Salisbury. Here. Mayor Richard Gard.
Here. I'd like to excuse Carla Borders, Councilwoman Borders, tonight. She is working at the election offices this evening, and so she probably will not get here in time, but we want to excuse her this evening. So the chair would entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Borders from tonight's meeting.
Second.
Councilwoman Salisbury has the motion, and Councilman Bailey has the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. I declare that we have a quorum present. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cox has the motion. Councilman Peranto has the second. Council discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Approval of the employment contract and oath of office for the city administrator. We're grateful for the opportunity tonight to put in a new city administrator, hopefully, and Mr. Butterfield has decided that he would like to work with us for a little longer, and we really do appreciate that. So the chair would entertain the motion to approve the employment contract with Kyle Butterfield, city administrator.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Bailey has the motion. Councilwoman Cox has second. Council discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Kyle, if you'll meet me at the podium, we'll go through this. So that's the one to sign, huh?
Your Honor. I'd like his family to come up with him.
Sure, you're okay with that?
Yes.
Of
Where do
course.
you want to join? Sure.
And Photographers everywhere we need them. Raise your right hand. I
I, Kyle Butterfield,
do solemnly swear that I will solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
and that I have not knowingly violated any law
I have not knowingly violated any law
related to my election or appointment,
related to my election or appointment,
or caused it to be done by others,
or caused it to be done by others,
and that I will discharge my duties in my office with fidelity.
that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah.
Makes me cry when kids cry.
Kyle.
Okay.
You want a picture with just their family first?
Oh, man. Aren't they cute?
Yes.
Thanks, Tisha.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. It is loud when you. Oh, you were gonna just, we're gonna pass. Thanks.
Is he walking around or?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, that's a really good move on our side and our behalf, and I appreciate the council for participating in that. And Kyle's been with us for 8 years and will continue to do a wonderful job, knows what he's doing, and we look forward for many years of service out of him. So thanks, Kyle. Communication from the floor, citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council regarding an item that is scheduled for a public hearing will be given that opportunity to speak during that public hearing. Anyone wishing to address the council on another item may speak now. I would ask those individuals wishing to address the council at this time to approach the podium and identify yourself for the record.
Good evening. My name is Jose Pro, and I'm speaking in behalf of where I live in All Nations. I talked to Mr. Butterfield a while back about a meeting about getting our roads paved and having the speed limit drop down some because it's 25, and we have gravel roads, and the children play out there. There is no way any vehicle coming at 25 miles an hour can stop on a dime. I'm seeing very many accidents going through there. Mr. Butterfield has informed me that we'll eventually get some kind of speed going through there to see how fast people are really going through there. That's one of my concerns. My other concern is that we've been city since 1986. And we have not yet had any kind of paved roads. We did have paved roads coming into the streets, but when they had done the sewer for the city, they never came back to repave the beginning of the roads. And now as you go in or you go out, any kind of emergency vehicle, especially emergency vehicles like the ambulances, like last winter, we had big puddles and a lot of ice out there, and you're either gonna run into them or they can't come in fast enough. They have to come in slow, and by that time, somebody can pass away. We do have a lot of elderly people, a lot of people that are disabled. My wife is one of them. And I'm just trying to get something done out there, and I'd like to put it for the record that we would like to have some kind of ability, us as a community in our little area are trying to clean up more and more, trying to make it look more presentable for us, you know what I'm saying, and looking better, and trying to get rid of the riffraff. I was one of them at one point in time. I'm not, you know, people make mistakes in life, but we learn from our mistakes. And yet we have to put our stupidity aside and think about others sometimes. And more or less, the older you get, the more you think about, hey, I'm going to be like that person one day. So I'm not with fault. I have been incarcerated before, but I've seen myself doing better things in my community. And it's important for me to kind of get this area cleaned up, drug-free, and have pride in where we live. We pay our taxes as well as everybody else. We should be able to have the ability to have a paved road where if we need to stop on a dime or something, or, you know, not go out there and help our neighbor get pushed out in the winter because, you know, he's got an emergency and he can't get anywhere because he's stuck out there. It's just bad, but I want to see it better. I talked to Mr. Butterfield and the committee, and I told him there's plenty of grant money still available, and we're looking into it, and we're trying to figure out how we can get dumpsters out there to clean up a little bit more. And I'm willing to do a lot of legwork myself to get what we need out there. I mean, while I was in prison, I learned a lot. I learned how to do Pell Grants. I learned how to read contracts. I learned how to do a lot of things. Not only that, I got my GED again. So it's important for us to move forward and try to have a better place to live where we're at. I know we're a bunch of trailers, but we still live and pay our taxes. It's important. I'd just like to put it for the record that we want to be able to have some kind of streets out there.
Okay, so this is the hard truth. I hate to break it to you because I think I live on a dirt street also. So what happens to us is the city accepts the maintenance of that when they brought that in. And so we could do a lot better job with the maintenance on that, on those roads. And we'll come down and take a look at that. And I believe the council could address the speed limit. If you wanted it lowered, we could address that. We could put it at 20 miles an hour. Or am I correct, Kyle?
Your Honor, that is correct. It's set by the city council.
So we have that legislative ability. When it comes to pavement, what happens when you move into the city? You need to form a homeowners association. Do you have a homeowners association out there?
Well, yes, we do. We do actually have a homeowner association. The fact is that they're, how could I say, pretty old.
They're,
And it's hard to get in contact with them sometimes.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of issues out there that with our home association, not being able to get meetings together, even though we try to. There's only 3 people in the home association. A while back, there was some embezzlement going on, and the person passed away, and that's how we found out a lot of the embezzlements was going on. But as we look into it and try to figure out how to put newer blood into the home association, is what we're working on.
So when you get the homeowners association established, you can do all sorts of things as a homeowners association. And you can get paved roads, but they will come at a cost. And so like out at, is it River Lane, our last homeowners association that we did? When you get 51% of the voters that will vote for asphalt roads, then our obligation is to come in and get a price for that curbs and gutters or a rural road section or whatever you choose to do. Out on River Lane, they put in a rural road section. They don't have any sidewalks or curbs or gutters. So it just depends on what the homeowners want to put in there. And then we'll send that out to bid and we get a price on it. And the homeowners will have to pay for that. And the problem with that is when you get 51% of the homeowners to agree, it obligates 100% of the homeowners. And so they have to pay for that improvement. They have to pay for that asphalt.
But since the place became a part of the suburb of the city, the attorney that used to work for the Home Association passed away. There was a lot of papers that didn't get cleaned up or anything else, but I do know that it was in the agreement by the Home Association and by the city of Riverton in the documents that they were going to have roads put in there. They were going to have things done. And like I said, we have been city since 1986, and Mr. Kyle Butterfield can adapt to that because he's the one that found out that we were city since 1986. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. And what we'll do is we'll research that contract and see exactly what that contract says. But more than likely, it's going to be on the homeowners association to pay for those improvements. Now, the city's obligated to keep gravel roads in a condition that's safe for your homeowners association, I do believe. And Kyle, am I correct or incorrect in that?
Your Honor, that's correct. It's a road we need to maintain.
So if there's some pockets that are holding water and ice and those kinds of things, we need to address that immediately. We can't address the speed limit immediately, but the asphalt, it's been my experience that will be on the back of the homeowners of the subdivision, whether you're in the city since 1989 or not. I live on a gravel road, and eventually, if we get enough homeowners, that's what we'll have to do, is to pass that homeowners agreement, get a cost of pavement. They will pave, and they will put that on your tax bill, and you'll be obligated to pay it.
We already pay our taxes. That's what I'm saying. We've been paying for so long these taxes, and also the water that we can't even get to use because the county doesn't even come and clean the rural areas so we can even use the water that it has our water rights.
Irrigation water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will do our very best to help you. So why don't you get a time with Kyle and myself, and we'll go over all of those details and see what we can get accomplished for you. And the city council, do you want to poll your people and see if you want your speed limit dropped, or do you want to?
Well, I have talked to a lot of people, and again, because a lot of them don't have access to vehicles to drive that own their property.
Right.
Most of the people that live there are between their 70s and older. And it's kind of hard to get them to come out, you know. I got a gentleman that owns his own property, but he's only got half a heart working right now. And that's my concern, is he's one of my good friends, but yet if something was to happen to him, the emergency vehicle to get there, whether it comes wintertime, it's not going to get there in time.
That's right. So we need to fulfill our obligation there, but we'll need to research that and get that exactly to you so you know what it is.
Yeah,
And we would consider dropping the speed limit for you. And we need to get the stop signs up, and we need to get all of those things to where they're working for that neighborhood. And we'll get right on it.
And again, I will research, and there is ways that we can come up as home associations to get Pell Grants to fix our community.
Sure.
There's plenty of money out there through the COVID area that will help us, just like when they did the sewer. That was through Obama. But when they did the sewer and they had Riverton's company, Bornhoff, come in, if you weren't there to look at what they were doing, you know, my neighbors across the street, if you turn off the neighbor on 88, the neighbor on 87, sewer gets cut off at the same time. And those are the problems that we've been dealing with. And Mr. Butterfield has knowledge of some of the things that backflow. Somebody has to be out from the city to come out there and just kind of be looking at what's going on over there, why the sewer's not working. And yet it comes out of our pocket. We had to pay for that too, one way or another, through the taxes.
Sure.
And yet we're paying for it, and we still haven't got that fixed.
Well, give us a time that works for you. We'll work in your time schedule, and we'll try to go through those point by point and get you some answers.
And I'll be happy to bring some more people along that I can bring about. If I have to get a van to bring them in, I'll get a van to bring them in, but we'll
Your
figure
Honor.
something out.
Yes.
Can I just say, I think the area that you're talking about, I don't think there's a lot of available incoming when you're saying homeowners will have to pay for that. And I think it is in a new opportunity tax zone that might have some opportunities. And there's also the Department of Transportation has some safe streets and roads funding maybe for lower income, but it is in a new tax or a new market tax opportunity zone. So that may be some ways that can address, because obviously, I think that's great. I appreciate you trying to clean that up. And I mean, lots of school kids live there. I know what you're talking about. What would you suggest the speed limit be to decrease, 15 or 20 to start with?
To start with, I mean, it's 25, and when they come through here, they
That's
keep
fast.
thinking it's 25 through the whole area, and it shouldn't be 25. Once you come through, it should be 15, because, again, I foresee somebody getting killed, one of these kids getting killed out there, you know, because he's playing out in the street, you know, and it's just, you know, we are in the low-income bracket, you know, we are what you would consider, you know,
You don't have a lot of luxury funds.
yeah, we don't. Well, we don't have, but what we try to do is try to keep ourselves, you know, decent. We try to clean up. Like I said, I was gone for a while, and we had a trailer on the other side, and my wife wasn't out to go take care of that issue, but they made a mess. They took all the aluminum and said they were going to take everything and help her, and nobody did anything. They just made a big old mess there. Come back home from prison, and I had to start cleaning that up. I'm looking through funds, ways to get some dumpsters out there to help us just have a bigger area, just to have one day to everybody throw their stuff and, you know, figure out how we can come about with that money to get that going. But I'm looking. I haven't stopped looking. You know.
We'll try our best to help you.
So,
Okay? So why don't you get with Kyle, or I don't know if you want to stay till after the meeting, but we need to get your phone numbers, and so we can get back in touch with you, and we'll come take a look at that and try to get things going for you.
you know what? I appreciate it. I really do. And thank you for your time.
When you don't need to bring your citizens in if they're elderly, you can take a poll from them, and we don't want to drop the speed limit if it isn't something that the majority wants.
A lot of the majority that lives there is wants.
But if you could do that, if that's something
Good
that you
poll, I
want to
could-
do, just go house to house and just have them
Yeah.
something that says their address and their name, and that they would like the speed limit reduced, and bring it back to Kyle, and we'll get it back on the agenda, and we'll get those lowered. And we'll get those speed limit signs in, and we'll get the stop signs in where they need to be. And we most definitely should get the roads graded.
Thank you, and I'll do my legwork.
Okay, we
You do
appreciate it.
yours, and I do mine.
Thank
you.
Your Honor, do we have any of that blacktop that they salvage from Shoshone to the dam? Is that available?
Your Honor,
Kyle?
I can address that. In addition to Mr. Pro, Mr. David Banks and Mr. Strohecker have attended the Fix Our Roads Citizen Committee. Mr. Banks and Mr. Strohecker attended in April, And the committee actually brainstormed the possibility of getting some of the milled asphalt from YDOT jobs, placing the milled asphalt on the roads. We found that that is only part of the solution, though. If we're going to put down the milled asphalt, we should chip seal it after. And the reason for that is our crews have a very hard time maintaining the asphalt several years down the line. That's because the oil ends up melting and heating, and then you have the same problem with potholes and chuck holes. So that was one option that the Force Committee looked at when the other members of the neighborhood came and visited with the committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the committee?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The City Council, Mayor Guard, congratulations, Mr. Butterfield. My name is Nicole Wagon, and I'm on the board of the Riverton Peace Mission. And I just want to thank Mayor Guard, Mr. Bailey, and Mr. Butterfield with meeting with us today. So I believe that we are working with one another, hopefully to come to meeting of the minds of coming up, hopefully with the Solutions Committee of what's going on in our county. I'd like to say that I encourage everybody to use their voice. You have a voice to make a difference, and that's why I'm here. I'm here on behalf of my tribe, on behalf of my people, on my family, my kids, my grandkids, the future, and the unborn, to make it safe. We're not going anywhere. We shop here. The kids go to school here. They play at the parks, what is that, splash pad? They go to the movies.
Skate park.
Yes, and I think it was a very good meeting today to come up with some safety issues or what's gonna, we can't foresee the future. And I know that we are still working on our petition with racism, but it doesn't have to be a negative connotation. I think that if we all come together to implement change and to acknowledge, and then like I spoke today, we can't foresee the future. We don't know what's going to come on up. And to work together amongst one another with, Chief Murphy, and how are we going to make it better. So I just want to applaud everybody's efforts and the time, and I know we're going to meet again. But I'm grateful for everybody coming together to work for one another and to help of what's going on and to make it better. So I just wanted to thank everybody, and I appreciate you guys' time and would like you guys' feedback as well. It's really hard to come up here. But I'd like to thank Chief Murphy personally. I know him very well, and the hurt that my family has been through. But I'm about making a negative, turn it into a positive. And what kind of factors can we make that difference for others to stop the violence? Again, safety. And have that self-respect for one another. So, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Would the city clerk please read the consent agendas by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, August 2nd, 2022, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, August 2nd, 2022 executive session meeting. Approval of the minutes, August 16th, 2022 finance committee meeting. Approval of the finance committee recommendations for August 16th, 2022. And approval of the municipal court report for the month of July 2022.
Thank you. Are there any items requiring further discussion?
Your Honor, the Finance Committee met earlier this evening and approved the consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $1,239,149.49. The Elon credit card in the amount of $4,791.75. Payroll and liabilities for July 29, 22 in the amount of $377,569.84, for a total of $1,621,511.08.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Peranto has the motion and Councilwoman Salisbury has the second. Council discussion.
Your Honor,
Mike?
I'll abstain from the Bailey Enterprises line item on the Finance Committee report.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'll abstain from any claims paid to Traveling Computers and Wyonet.
Thank you. So that just leaves a few of us. We got enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all right. Here we go. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Consideration of ordinance number 22-007, third and final reading, reckless animals ordinance. Would the city clerk please read ordinance number 22-007 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 22-007 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending Title VI Animals, Chapter 6.08 Dogs and Cats, Section 6.08.035 Reckless Animal Owner of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 22-007 on third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cox has the motion, Councilman Bailey, has the motion, and Councilman Bailey has the second. Discussion. Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilwoman Lindsay Cox.
Aye.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Aye.
Councilman Dean Pronto.
Yes.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Christy Salisbury.
Aye.
Mayor Richard Gard.
Aye. Motion passes. Bid award for a flatbed 4x4 work truck. City Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do want to take a little levity at this time and say Brian Eggleston usually does these reports, but it was his birthday today. And so I took privilege of pulling rank and told him to stay home tonight. But before you is a bid award for a work truck for our collection distribution division. It replaces a vehicle that's about 20-plus years old. It was approved in the budget for a purchase of $45,302. After advertising pursuant to state statute, bids were opened publicly on August 3rd. There was one bid received. It was from Fremont Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. The submitted bid price was $46,889. Collection distribution is a division that's paid for out of the water and the sewer enterprise fund, and that's how this truck was budgeted. So when we have a little bit of an overage, it will be split between each of those enterprise funds. And so the overage that we're seeing in total is $1,587 from what was budgeted. But between the funds, the overage is $793.50. I'm very confident that we, through the course of the fiscal year, will be able to absorb that and recommend that this vehicle be awarded.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of one 2023 Chevy 1-ton 4x4 truck in the amount of $46,889 from Fremont Chevy Buick GMC of Riverton.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey has the motion. Councilwoman Cox has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Bid award for fuel service contract, city administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. In 2019, the city of Riverton entered into contract with Bailey Enterprises for fuel sales throughout the city. We do have a large fleet of vehicles and obviously need to fuel those. That contract was a one-year contract with 2 optional periods for renewal. That contract did expire June 30th, 2022. The city's been operating on a month-to-month basis since that time. However, we began advertising a request for a proposal on July 27th, August 3rd, and August 6th for a new contract for fuel service. The majority of this fuel service is unleaded gasoline. However, there is an ability to purchase diesel fuel. The reason why it's the majority unleaded fuel is because we do have a diesel tank at our public works yard, and that's where the majority of our diesel is consumed by our vehicles. After advertising the gasoline and diesel fuel service RFP, we publicly opened bids on August 11th. There was one submitted bid. It was from Bailey Enterprises. And what was submitted is an estimate quantity that we put in, and then also per gallon cost. The per gallon cost includes the bidder's cost per gallon at the time of the opening, and then the bidder's markup. For unleaded gasoline, the total cost per gallon is $3.30. I need to zoom this in. $3.30 and 22 hundredths, with a bidder's markup of 50 cents, 27 hundredths. For diesel number 1, the total unit cost per gallon is $4.56 and 82 hundredths, with a bidder's markup of 51 cents, 29 hundredths. For diesel number 2, the total unit cost per gallon is $4.18 and 44 hundredths, with a bidder's markup of 51 cents, 29 hundredths. Staff has reviewed the submitted bid to ensure that it is responsive to the specifications. By way of information, it is a 3-year contract, and we recommend that the gasoline and diesel fuel service RFP be awarded to Bailey Enterprises.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to award Bailey Enterprises Corporation, Bailey's, the gas and diesel service contract.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson has the motion. Councilman Pronto has the second. Discussion.
Your Honor, I'll abstain from voting on this item.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Resolution number 1454, updating of the signatory authority. City Clerk, Human Resource Director's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. At the first meeting of each year, the city designates official depositories through resolution, which also includes the authorized signers on all city bank accounts. With the recent resignation of former City Administrator Anthony Tolstead and the new appointment of Kyle Butterfield as City Administrator, this resolution would allow for the necessary updates to the authorized signers for the City of Riverton's bank accounts. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 1454, designating specific individuals as signatories and alternate signatories for the city's banking accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cox and second by Councilwoman Salisbury. Further discussion. So, Kristen, we picked up signatures for you to be alternate to Kyle, if Kyle's not there.
Correct.
And both the president of the council and the vice president of the council, to cover my signature. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So we have 5 signatories,
Yes,
and we usually need 2 on everything. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Resolution number 1455, establishing safety committee. The Community Development Director's report, please.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. In 2001, Resolution 899 was presented to council and passed, and that established the current safety program that the city of Riverton has. And also previously, the safety program was administered by the Fleet Division Manager through the Public Works Department until the retirement of that employee in 2016. After that retirement, the manager that was set in place was the Chief of Police to lead the safety committee, which consisted of an employee from almost every department in the city, who met monthly to discuss any injuries or accidents with the idea of offering recommendations to improve the safety in each department. However, the resignation of the Chief of Police in 2017 then halted the operation of that safety committee. It was a manager was never set in place again, and the committee did not meet again after that. Resolution number 1455 provides support from the governing body of the City of Riverton to establish the Employee Safety Committee. The importance of having a safety committee is to change our culture to promote the health and well-being of each employee and the public in which we work in. Also, Wyoming Workmen's Compensation recognizes an entity's participation in an employee safety committee and offers a discount to our base rate, which the city is responsible for. Currently, we get a 3.33% reduction in our base rate for Wyoming, or for workman's comp, for our cooperation with the OSHA department and OSHA inspections that we do have. And by having a safety committee, there's actually 3 categories that we qualify for then at that point, and we will receive up to a 10% reduction to our workman's comp base rate. So when we look at the safety committee ending in 2017, and we look at the year grouping that our workman's comp is reflected on, so the period of which we stopped having a safety committee is the period of which our workman's comp is reflected on, and we received a 43 to 54% increase to our workman's comp rates. It's statistically not directly reflective of the day the safety committee quit. We started having incidents and accidents in the city again, but it is reflective when we look at our patterns. We can see when we had a safety committee and when we did not. I have kind of taken the helm at the director level to restart the safety committee and get that rolling again. We've met in July already. We will be meeting in August after the approval of this to finalize some of the governmental processes that we need to make sure for Robert's rules that we have in place. But there is good support from the employees to do this, and I think finance-wise, when we really see the nuts and bolts of the numbers of what it costs us to not have a program, I think there's some rewards in the work that we can do in that like. Alternatives, obviously, council can amend the resolution in any way, shape, or form in discussion here. They can deny the resolution straight off. Budget impact, right now there is no budget request from the safety committee. The safety committee operates just from employees from the city working together to do that. When the workers' compensations are evaluated, the city would benefit from the lower discounted rate through the state of Wyoming Workmen's Comp Division. And the recommendation is that the council approves Resolution 1455.
Thank you. Would the city clerk please read resolution number 1455 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed resolution number 1455, a resolution supporting the establishment of the Employee Safety Committee for the City of Riverton.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 1455 in support of establishing the City of Riverton's Employee Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson has the motion. Councilman Bailey has the second. Discussion. So this is a slow-moving wheel, and Kristen, you might jump in whenever I get off of my spot. Kristen has worked really hard and got inspections on all of our buildings, and we've got good reports that have come back from those, and we've got some relief from our workman's comp on that direction. This safety committee would be able to, if it functions correctly, we would get a credit at that point also. More than that, if we pay attention to our accidents, that's really where our incidents would come in and lower that workman's comp. We had in budget this year, the real raise in budget was either workman's comp or gasoline. That's how bad it was. And so we paid dearly for workman's comp, and we of course want everybody covered and have that compensation available. And so I think Kristen's done a real good job of organizing this and putting it in the forefront. Mike was willing to step up and add to his list of responsibilities to chair that committee, and I appreciate your willingness to do that. Not an easy task, but I think you have some past experience on doing that also, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so hopefully this will help us with, and it won't be an immediate savings, but if we do it right in the next 3 years or so, we'll see a reduction of that, correct?
Correct. A properly functioning safety committee is a slow play.
Yeah, and we want people to be safe. So we do some dangerous things. We have people in the bottom of trenches, and we have people working on heavy equipment, and we want to be safe. We just want to pay attention to that. So thanks for everybody's efforts. I appreciate it. Anybody else have anything? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Urban Systems Committee appointment. City Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Urban Systems Committee is one of our steering committees to improve the road networks throughout town. The money for the Urban Systems Program comes from the Surface Transportation Urban Fund that's held in trust by WYDOT, and it's funded at the discretion of the Transportation Commission for Wyoming. The City of Riverton does have an Urban System Committee, and it does have, more importantly, an Urban System Boundary, and that's the area in which the Urban System Committee operates, and the funds can be applied and allocated. There's a committee membership that's made up of a representative from the City of Riverton, a citizen representative from the City of Riverton, a representative from the county, a citizen representative from the county. There's a WYDOT representative, and then there's also a WYDOT staff representative. Mr. Tolstead served as the city's representative on the Urban System Committee, and with his resignation, we need to replace that appointment. It's proposed that the city administrator serve in that role. However, the city council may choose to appoint a different city employee, or it may choose to appoint a member of your own body to serve in that capacity. Normally, the Urban Systems Committee meets quarterly. Sometimes it's only met 2 times a year. The reason for that is it takes a lot of time for the funds to accrue in that account. We often compare it to the Fix Our Road Citizen Committee, and what the Fix Our Road Citizen Committee generates in a month, the Urban Systems Committee generates in a year as far as revenue goes. So it takes several years to generate funds sufficient to do a project that would benefit the population. The city does, I think, great work on this, and we look forward to your recommendation as far as an appointment. Thank you, Your Honor.
Kyle, I missed one of those. There's 2 from the city, 2 from the county, 1 from WYDOT, and another one?
Yes, Your Honor, there is a representative from WYDOT, and Mr. Scheidemantel, the resident engineer, has served in that position for several years. And then a WYDOT representative from the planning program in Cheyenne also helps.
So 2 from WYDOT.
Correct, 2 from WYDOT.
Thank you. The chair would are you fully briefed us, Kyle, there? We know everything you know?
Much further, actually.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve the appointment of the city administrator, Kyle Butterfield, to the Urban Systems Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Larson has the motion. Councilman Pronto has second. Further discussion? I did have a conversation with Kyle, and he assures me that that would be a good thing for him to do, and he has time to do it. That's my biggest question is, you know, we spread our administrators kind of thin. This would be a point where we could send somebody else. The funds occur, and it's maybe you might want to tell us, we're looking at a couple different locations to spend this money on. You want to update us on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Over the last several years, the Urban System Committee has worked to prioritize certain corridors and projects. One of their most recent projects was a co-op program where Cooper Road was studied to see if it could be an alternate east-west corridor for the town. Outside of that, the committee has also looked at Airport Road as a priority for improvement. It's also looked at Riverview Road for an area of improvement, and that would be really from where Adams and Riverview transition as you head west to where the canal is. In the past, the Urban Systems Committee has improved a few projects around town. The most recent one was in 2014 when Riverview Road was improved kind of around the Hill Street area. And then prior to that, Pershing was also improved. So as you move west of Broadway on Pershing, that was an Urban Systems project.
Your Honor,
Yes.
that project on 214, that's the one that we spent the $55,000 on the runaround water problem that you and I didn't like.
So why did we do that? We didn't like it.
We ate it.
That's the way I remember it. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. A letter of support for the Table Mountain Living Community Mayor's Report. So I should pay closer attention. Somebody put my name on that report. So what this is the Lander community is applying for a USDA loan for a senior housing development. They're applying for $15 million to make that application and make that community development work. And so they ask the FTAG organization, they ask the county, they ask all the other cities and towns for a letter of support. They actually sent out a form letter for us to just sign and send back, but Kristen was more diligent than that. She called and asked exactly what they needed and why and what they were doing. And she prepared a document that all of us can sign, not just me. And so I appreciate that, Kristen, for the effort you put in.
Sure.
So what this is, it has nothing to do with the city of Riverton other than the fact that we're supporting a neighboring community in a grant application. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the letter of support for from the city of Riverton's governing body to the Housing Authority of the City of Lander, supporting the USDA Community Facilities Grant and Loan Program application for the Table Mountain Living Community.
So moved.
Okay.
Councilwoman Salisbury has the motion. Councilwoman Cox has the second. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. So we're now at reports and comments. Dean, let's get you off the hook first.
Well, today being election day was interesting, and I appreciate everybody getting out there and voting. It was a little hectic at times and a little bit slow periodically, but we appreciate everybody's patience. But in the end, the polls closed at 7, and we'll see how the results lay out.
Super. Appreciate your efforts there. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Mike?
Again, I think from my vantage point across the street, it looked like the election headquarters were very busy all day long, so I'm glad to see Fremont County voters got out and did our civic duty and voted. And again, we'll all get to see how that worked out. And again, I was happy to meet with Mayor Guard and Kyle Butterfield with the Peace Mission folks today, and I think we had a productive meeting and start of some good discussions. And again, I think the more we talk about things and get our issues out there, the quicker we can solve them. So
Thank you.
I didn't have any other meetings. Thanks. Did not.
I didn't have any meetings scheduled in the week between our last meeting. I did want to mention, seeing the asphalt done down at the Little League made me really happy. It looks amazing, and that's been necessary for a while now, so I'm glad that they got that taken care of, and I just hope for more improvement down there so the kids have a great place to play, so thank you for that.
Thanks, Lindsay. Christie?
I haven't attended any meetings since our last one, but I'm excited watching the Sunset Playground get put up.
That is going to be nice, isn't it?
Mhm.
Kyle, we got to wait until we get the rubber mats down, right? The ground tires, right? So, okay.
Radiant heat for the playground.
Gets a little warm. I went up to J.C. Park and tried to sweep up the stuff that was thrown around, and it does get warm as can be.
I thought you were putting a splash pad there too.
Working on it.
Is that all? Kyle?
Sorry, I was,
Daydreaming, sleep.
no, I was contemplating some thoughts. I attended the solid waste committee meeting, and I was asked again to apply to be on that committee. They're having more fun than most people do. They have to deal with the county for the amount of money that they receive. And I've mentioned several times that $21 million is a lot of money to hold in trust for the future, putting landfills to bed. That's called perpetual covenants. That means from the womb to the tomb and thereafter. And it was told by some people from the county commissioners that the solid waste had enough money. And obviously, our commissioners have never dealt with the EPA. And enough is not enough.
Never enough.
Especially if the future requires that we move asbestos from certain locations and ship it somewhere else. Or if they found some hazardous waste that is undefined today but might be defined tomorrow. Anyway, they were reticent about raising tipping fees because they are now cutting back into their money that they've saved for the last 5 years. Because in 2016, they didn't have any. They were operating just like everybody else on a day-to-day basis. We call it a cash basis. But they found out that Shoshone was going to have to go into the graveyard and they had to have money. And so that was $1,350,000 put away. And so anyway, they're reticent about the county is a little judicious on giving them their fair share. So I applied to be on the board, and they asked me to do that, and so I said I would try and do that and see what would happen. The second thing was I voted early, and that was my secret of only taking 45 minutes because my ballot didn't go through the first time. I didn't know you were supposed to color within the lines. I'd forgot about kindergarten. Anyway, so my ballot didn't go through, but the second one did. So I felt good about that. But
Because you voted twice, does that make you a Democrat?
no, that's the interesting thing.
Vote early and vote often.
Vote early and vote often, but they took my ballot and they put it into a special sealed envelope and handed it to a judge, so there were only about 5 in that. And it was folded, and I had to sign it and all that. Anyway,
Because you're special.
yeah, well, special needs. But all over the state of Wyoming, there was lines lined up. And it was a heavy turnout. But I've always felt if you don't vote, you can't complain. And you know I never complain. So anyway, I voted, I enjoyed that special deal. But unfortunately, some people didn't realize that all of the county of Fremont County was there somewhere. And so the offices were closed on Tuesday at the License Bureau and taxes and every place else. It was all closed down. They were all down either at the high school in Lander or here at the fairgrounds in Riverton. But I appreciate their effort. I appreciate the people that voted that we had to show our driver's license. That was the slowdown, really. In the past, you're recognized for who you are. And being a person that never speaks up, I've never been recognized very easily. But anyway, with the driver's license, I made it through, and I appreciate those people that are working right now, including our Councilman Borders. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. City Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have much except to say thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate the confidence and trust you've put in me. Tony Tolstead used to say all the time, we have excellent staff working for you, and I want to echo that. And I want to say thank you to my peers for their support thus far, and I very much look forward to working with them and working with you. Riverton's a great place, and there's a lot of fun things I think we can get accomplished, a lot of good we can do. Tony used to be really good and ask the other department heads for what they had for this report, and I did not do it. I do know that there's an airport board meeting this Friday at 8 o'clock, and Mr. Mayor, if it's okay, I'd love to defer to my team members if they have anything else they'd like to update.
Sure.
I have nothing at this time, Mr. Butterfield.
Don't we have a planning commission meeting Thursday?
We do have a planning commission meeting.
At what time?
Planning commission meeting is on Thursday at 5:30.
5:30?
In this chambers.
So that's something, isn't
It
it?
is something, yeah. It depends on your definition of something. To some folks, planning commission might be a little boring, but to other folks, it's riveting.
Some of it's just riveting. We can't get out of our chair. So, Chief, you okay?
Your Honor, I took the week off and I'm riding horses all week, so I am fantastic. Thank you.
Fantastic. Appreciate that. So I got the real opportunity just a week and a half ago to go up to the high school and work with the freshmen that are getting orientated to the high school. Interesting what they do there. They had 8 questions on a whiteboard, and there was about 50 students there. And they were good questions. They were, when are we going to get a rec center? And that's a good question, right?
Soon, right?
They wanted to know about crime in the city, and they wanted to know about the opportunity for a trampoline center, if we were going to get a trampoline center anytime soon. Some of these ideas were ones that could actually happen and work. And so I worked through it with them, and we discussed it, and it was kind of fun to work there and have that interaction. After we did that, we got to go clean up the streets around the school. And so my group, the blue team, went over to J.C. Park, and I pulled all the weeds out of the asphalt tires and tried to get the asphalt tires back where the asphalt tires were supposed to go to. And that, recently there was a letter to the editor about the condition of that park equipment, and there is some need for some painting. There was a feature missing there. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, man.
Had some barriers around it and some steel posts that were painted orange on the top. So we probably ought to go up there and see what we know. I did go and look at the bathrooms, and the bathrooms look great. Unfortunately, those bathrooms are only cleaned on weekdays and not through the weekend. And so we need to be careful with there and take good care of that stuff. It also came to my attention that with the extent of Sunset Boulevard, that the businesses in the strip mall that just lays to the south of that across the street from Porter's are really struggling. And so I would like to encourage anybody that could use their services in that strip mall to go down there, and you can get through the traffic and you can use those businesses. And we'd like you to stop in and visit with them and see if there's any services that you may be able to use. With that, I got to go to the staff meeting, which I really do appreciate. We also had a 56 permit meeting. I see that that's on YouTube and on the computer, and so I appreciate that. And we have, I think we had 12 people there that were willing to do that. And I appreciate their efforts to help us with that. If anyone is interested, I did get another call on that today. If anybody is interested in helping with the 56 permit, our animal control officer helps with that, and she can get you the paperwork to make that work.
Your Honor, we've had 3 additional people sign up since the meeting.
Super. So we're closing in on 15 maybe.
Yes, sir.
Good. I also attended the farmer's market, and that was a enjoyable opportunity. Anybody that would like to, I went to the Wednesday farmer's market and the Saturday's farmer market, and I've become a little bit addicted to one of the products there, and so there's lots and lots of really good things there. Administrator Butterfield and I were able to think a little bit ahead of the curve, and we got in touch with Kafaru we tried for Tuesday, I believe, and made base on Wednesday, Thursday. And it was a good thing that we did, because that project was going a little bit slow. And so we were able to get in front of that, and Kyle went out and got a banner made, and we got the barriers down, and we got the road graded from Federal to up to the old Big R location, Kafaro's new showroom. We were able to help them with their parking lot, and they were really appreciative, and they were glad that we showed up. And it was a good move for us to do that. The work on Sunset is a little behind. I think we extended that contract for 22 days. And so the buses, school buses, are going to start moving, and we've tried to look forward to see what we can do to make that happen as smooth as possible. We are in direct work with the contractor there, 71, and his subs. They were kind enough to pick up all their equipment and move it for the open house, and get the road smoothed up and in really good shape. I also got to go to the neighborhood watch meeting. Carol was there in charge, and so she did a really good job. We had, I think, 12, 15 people there. We're gonna do that again on the 8th of next month, September. And so we would encourage everybody that came to that meeting to bring a friend, and anybody that would like to attend, please come and join us. That's in this building at 7 o'clock. Greg Talbus, I went over and gave him some paperwork after that meeting. He was homesick, and he's been a real big help to me, and I really do appreciate his help on that. The other highlight that happened for Kyle and I, if you can believe it, the governor came to town and he wanted to talk to both of us. And so we went and had a real good talk with him. The First Lady came, and Senator Bebout came, and we were able to unload some information that we had, and it was a good conversation, and we really did appreciate it. Then the next day was the Cafaro open house, and that went off great, in my opinion. We had tons and tons of people there, and they were really appreciative, and the parking went well, and they had a live band, and they had liquor consumption at that location, They had all that paperwork done, and the chief showed up in his uniform and helped out with that, and Mike was there, and Kyle was there, and Mia Harris was there, and probably everybody else was too. I just didn't see the rest of you, so it really went well, and they really appreciated it, and there was tons of folks there. I got a new hat and a shirt out of the deal, so I did have to pay for them, chief.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't get anything.
I didn't steal them, I had to pay for them. My wife said I could buy them, so it was a good deal for me. Then today, if you can believe it, Greg Talbus painted the graffiti off the back of the Motel 6, which was extensive. And he told me that he would be there at 7, so I went after I voted at 7:30 and he wasn't there yet, so I went to his house. And staff was kind enough to prepare some. Mike's going to be mad because we used up all of his stuff for his building permits. Hopefully we can get that replaced before he needs one. But we printed up some home neighborhood watch signs, and Megan did that for me, and maybe she had signed that out. Did she sign that out, if I got that right? She signed that to you? Yeah. And you were kind enough to put them in my box, but I didn't know that they were there during the meeting. I should have known that they would be there. So Carol and I got them after the meeting, and then Greg wanted some more for his neighborhood, so we got him 9 more and ran ourselves out of laminate sheets, so we'll have to get some more. But it is fun to see that neighborhood watch has got some legs and it's getting better and better, so we appreciate that. And then today we did have a really good meeting with the Riverton Peace Mission. I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their side and 3 of us. And Councilman Bailey was kind enough to be there, and they really did appreciate his input. Kyle was there, and we made some headway, I believe. So that's all the meetings that I've been to. We do have an executive for real estate.
Your Honor,
Oh.
just wanted to make one comment in regards to the bus garage. The school district does have the procedures that they have in place on the Fremont County 25 website, if people want to read that to get information on how that will work while construction is still in process. If they aren't on Facebook, but it's been posted on the website.
Okay. And that's dealing with the drop-offs for the kids?
Yeah, for the kids during school.
We were more worried about the buses than the kids. We figured the kids would adapt, so. Super, I appreciate that information. We do have an executive for real estate tonight. The chair would entertain a motion to convene into an executive session for the purpose of real estate, consideration of site selection or purchase of real estate in accordance with Wyoming Statute 16-4-405A VII.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Paranto has the motion and Councilman Bailey has the second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. Mr. Piplica, would you come into executive with us? And Kyle and Kristen? Thank you.
scared everybody off after our last one.
Did we say something? Probably we didn't say something. That's the problem.
The chair would entertain a motion to reconvene into regular session.
So moved?
Second.
Councilman Larson has the motion. Councilman Bailey has a second. Further discussion?
Your Honor, I move that the city.
Second.
I'm sorry.
We're just,
No, we got to vote on it.
Yep.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passed, and we're back in session at 8:33 PM, last I checked. The chair would entertain a motion to,
Now it's my turn. All right. To submit a counteroffer agreeing to the price offer contingent upon meeting the advertising requirements and agreeing to the drainage easement and approval of the economic development letter.
thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion. Kristen, you got that, don't you? I didn't write anything down. We have a motion from Councilman Peranto, and we have a second by Councilwoman Cox. I got that, Councilwoman Cox. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. We stand at adjournment if there's no opposer, nobody opposing that at 8:34.
Can you call Tony and tell him that